What's up, friends? Welcome back to another episode of the This Day podcast. This week on the podcast, I'm so excited to introduce you to my friend Grace Graber. Grace is a Christian music artist that is killing it, I'm telling you, in music. And we are so excited to have her on the podcast today. So tune in right now to hear our conversation about all things Hawk Nelson, music, and so much more. Check it out right now. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Go ahead and just share a little bit about who you are, what you do.
Yeah.
What you're about.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Grace Graber. If we haven't met already. Hi, what's up? Let's be friends. I am a Christian punk artist here in Nashville. So I'm like the only one who's doing what I'm doing as far as like music style in the Christian music industry. But I write songs because an old Hawk Nelson song saved my life, and so it really feels fitting that I've stayed in this lane, and my goal is to save lives. So yeah, I like to break things and rock out and just saving lives.
And you're killing it.
Thank you.
Saving lives. That should be your bio, your like Instagram bio.
Oh girl, it already is.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. Well, my one-liner for like my website, everything is like I write songs to save a life.
No, but like break things, save lives.
Oh, break things, save lives. Yeah.
That might be borderline. Like.
Yeah. I look at like social media as like a portfolio, so I don't know if I want that on my portfolio, right? Yeah.
I don't know. But Grace, one question we ask everybody that's been on the podcast is what's keeping you present during this day, during today, because everything is coming for our like attention. We got 6,000 things happening.
You said let's work. Okay, well, tell me who you are. Okay, now let's get into the deep stuff. What's keeping me present?
Yeah, maybe it's like your roommates. Maybe it's a new song. Maybe it's
Well, what's keeping me present, I think music. I've been listening to this album by Huddy. Have you heard it?
I have not heard the new album.
Teenage Heartbreak or something like that.
Ooh.
It's really good. There was a guitar solo on the way here that I heard in the song How It All Ends. And like the guitar solo I was getting teary-eyed in the car. I've listened to this song many times. And I think what's keeping me grounded, what's keeping me present is kind of watching what God is doing. I'm kind of in a place right now where like life is good, and I'm like, I when you like think, my friend Bailey, shout out to Bailey Hager, she just wrote a song about this, how it's like when you're having good days, you're like, when is it gonna get bad, and let your good days be your good days, like she says. And I've been having some good days, and I've been thinking to myself, oh, when's it gonna get bad? But also the tension that I live in as far as being in the music industry, and as far as being a female, but as far as doing it on my own, as far as it having specific sounds, there's just like a lot of odds against me per se. I think what's keeping me present is understanding that obedience is how I got here in the first place too. Like, it's because of the obedience of those old rocker guys back in the early 2000s that I'm alive and here, right?
Yeah.
So, I think understanding that now it's my turn to be obedient, and so I've been kind of sitting in like, okay, this is my turn to do that. So
I love that, Grace. Now, Hawk Nelson.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about Hawk Nelson.
They're the best.
They're not the best. They're the absolute best.
Absolute best.
Hawk Nelson. Well, it was specifically Jason I was obsessed with. Jason Dunn back in the day. Hawk Nelson, it has taken many different shapes and forms since. But it was specifically Jason. How enthusiastic he was. A lot of my Grace Graber persona on stage is because I've watched hours of footage of Jason just dancing on stage. And I love that man. I stand by it. I still love that man. I know it's a little weird now that I actually know him, but
it's not weird. It's totally normal.
I still fangirl a little bit when I see a text message come up or something like that. I'm like, ooh,
best day ever.
Best day ever. Yeah, I've been having some good days because. It's been cool, actually. Aaron Tosti, he used to be the drummer of Hawk Nelson. And he was like the second Smile at the End of the World. He lives here in Nashville. He's one of the only members that still lives here in Nashville. And he and I have been like hanging out and like bonding, we call it, like brother-sister bonding time. I have this huge bruise on my leg right now.
Grace, that's so bad.
Okay, I have this huge bruise on my leg right now because last week we went to a rage room. And we broke stuff, and we said, Rachel.
Oh my word! Wait! I totally remember seeing this
on my story,
on your Instagram story.
Okay, so yeah, I was talking with Aaron earlier that day about, I think, connection he had about a podcast, Blurry Creatures, look him up. But a connection he had, and then I called him and I said, what are you doing today? And he was like, nothing. And I'm like, do you want to like bond? Do you want to like hang out? Because he's made it a joke that like now I taken Hawk Nelson as my friend literally, and now they are my friend. And but I've just adopted these people into my family, and so I just said, let's go bond, and we went and broke stuff, and we threw axes, and it was really fun. And anyways, I totally had a Hawk Nelson rant. You want to talk about Hawk Nelson?
Wow, that went so many different directions.
I totally had a Hawk Nelson rant. You want to talk about Hawk Nelson?
Wow, that went so many different directions. But the rage room, I do remember seeing, and it looked so fun,
so relaxing. But that bruise hurts.
Grace,
that bruise is bad.
That looks elevated. This
is what happens when you hang out with your heroes.
Don't hang out with enemies, okay?
Okay. We should. Okay.
No. Anyway, so their song saved your life. Talk about like that time in your life, your story, and how like God brought you through.
Yeah. So I was a pastor's kid growing up in a little small town in California, and I'd always known who Jesus was. When I was like younger, always thought I don't have a testimony. I just have loved Jesus from the beginning, and that's what gave me a testimony. Is eventually I was physically and verbally assaulted by teenage girls in middle school, and it became too violent for me to go to that school, and then I tried another one. Well, it spread online, and it became unsafe for me to go to all the schools, and so all of that brought me to a place where my parents started to homeschool me, and I had undiagnosed PTSD and major depression because of the assaults. So I became suicidal, and it was like the night I was going to commit suicide was kind of like, I just remember waking up in the middle of the night, I was like laying in the bed, and I just remember like grabbing the edge of the bed and like utter chaos. Like it sounded like I remember it as screaming. It felt like I wasn't screaming, but it felt like everything was screaming. And I remember like my body telling me like it's time. Like it's like, ooh, that's a little dark, but yeah. And then right in the moment of the chaos, I just started singing like, "Take me under your wing tonight, make me so perfect in your eyes. Hold on, it'll be all right. You're not alone." And I kept singing that, and it stopped me from. It actually put me to sleep, so it stopped me from taking my own life. Yeah, and so I think that wasn't their most popular song. It wasn't like their single off the album. It was like track 8, and it was like the slow song on the album, which I never listened to slow songs, but I listened to this album so religiously that it came up at the right time.
Yeah.
It was a song that demanded to be heard and changed my life. So, and showed me Jesus. I feel like I really met Jesus when I would start to go to Christian rock concerts, and I would meet these guys and think like, wow, how, like, they don't know me, but they treat me so well, but the people who know me want to hurt me. And that's really how I discovered, who Jesus was, and ultimately doing what I do now, and everything is like, I think about that, it's like, I might be the only person someone might experience Jesus through, right? So how am I going to make them feel? How am I going to... You just never know what people are going through, and, like, none of those boys were just all having fun, they weren't thinking like, we're gonna save lives. And I'm a result of that. Hi. It's a girl.
Surprise!
Surprise! Yeah.
Oh my god. But your music, though, you have an impact with all of your songs. Like, you want them to have an impact on people that listen.
I want them to. I don't know if I have yet. No. I think my goal is just to continue to save lives and break the stigma. And I think it's so easy for Christian artists right now in this day and age go, I don't want to sing in the church. I want to go and minister to people outside the church. Because that, when you think about it, that seems like logical, right? I want to reach people for Jesus. I'm doing something different where I actually want to go into the church and bring like resources that will save the people who are already involved in church. Like, some churches are not like trauma informed and have not really talked to their body about this. Like, some teenagers are out there struggling and parents don't know how to handle it. I want to go into the church and show them that it's really weird. It's a ministry that a lot of people have been like, why don't you just talk about just mental health, like in general? It's like, no, I talk about Christian mental health because it's specific to a body of people that is hurting and needs it too. They need attention too.
Yeah.
And I'd much rather go into the church and help them heal and have a stronger relationship with God than, I don't know. It just seems harder. And I kind of like the challenge of like the hardness of like going into a church and being like, these people already know who Jesus is. How do we deepen that?
Absolutely.
It's easy to go, hey, this is Jesus, like, nice to meet you, but like, and not to like criticize any people going out in the world, and like, I love that. It's just, I just know I'm called to going into the church and showing people more depth about Jesus. Anyways, but I hope that makes sense.
No, I love that. I think it's so true. Like, we can grow up in the church. Like, I grew up in the church my whole life, but I feel like it wasn't until I went to college and I was away from the church a little bit that I realized, like, there's a need here. Like, there's a need for people to
there's
reform.
Resources. Yeah, resources that just people aren't aware are available to them, and like therapy, medication. It's not really demonstrated in the church as much, and so when what you need is someone to just go in and go, yeah, I'm medicated. Like, I go in there and make it normal. Like, that's my goal, is making like real life situations look normal in church, which is really hard because like in church we try to aspire to perfection of eternity, when in fact like we're still on earth. Like, eternity's not here yet. I mean, like, we have the option to find I could go on a whole thing, but I believe in Jesus and I love Jesus, and there are still some really cool resources God has made through people that we can use to find hope and healing. And anyways, I hope that makes sense.
Girl, it makes sense.
Okay.
So good.
I go on rant.
Okay, so talk about the latest single that you have out right now.
As I Am?
As I Am. Just talk about
you see me, love me as I am. A lot, like, I think it's cool. When I like write songs, I always want to add like a truth to it. But I always don't want to like take away from like the truth I feel.
Yeah.
So it's like, maybe I'm not that crazy. Maybe like, and sometimes church just isn't enough, And I firmly believe we need doctors, therapists, all of that. We need a mixture of things. It's not going to just take one prayer to heal everything. It could. I believe God's big enough, but the reality is we are here on earth in a perfect body and in a perfect world. And but I love adding the truth, though. Like, God sees me, He loves me as I am. And I wrote that one with Wade Wenrick and Dan Reed, and it was like, we got in there and we just started singing. We weren't trying to chase anything specific. No. We were actually listening to this band I used to listen to called Sleep for Sleepers. Have you heard of them?
No, but it sounds very
you
fun.
Want a really good, like, underground, no one knows about band. They were back in the day, early 2000s, and we were all geeking out about it. And we're like, let's write a song that Sleep for Sleepers would write. And that's how As I Am came out. Yeah. But I think just being vulnerable and just try to tell the truth of like what I was feeling and what I knew, and how do we like combine those together, you know, because you never want to disvalidate what you're feeling. What you're feeling is valid. Like, we're allowed to feel things. So.
Well, it's so good, and it's available wherever you listen to music, right?
Available wherever you listen to music, yeah.
People need to go. You need to go and download it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Buy it, download it, do whatever you want with it. Yeah.
I love it, Grace. Now, you have tour dates coming up. You have all the things coming up. So, what is all coming up for you? Where can people, like, keep up with everything happening?
Yeah.
In the world of Grace Graper.
Oh, GraceGraper.com. I try to update as much as... I'm a one-girl show, so... I have a couple... I have a team of people that are surrounding me, but... GraceGraper.com. It will link you to all my socials. At Grace Graver Music, everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We have some tour dates coming up. They're yet to be like announced officially, but it's happening, you guys. And then we have a little sponsorship that just...
Do you want to talk about the sponsorship?
Oh my gosh. Grace? Okay, so Megan has been helping me, you guys, with like marketing, and she's amazing, so hire her.
Book Grace for concert.
Oh my gosh. BetterHelp.com, our official sponsor for today. We can play the thing.
Play your thing.
We're going to play this right now.
Hi, everybody. We're going to take a quick break from the podcast to talk about our podcast sponsor, Faithful Counseling. We are so excited to partner with Faithful Counseling in order to promote better mental health. Mental health is such a big thing happening in our culture right now, and we want you to have a positive mental health. Faithful Counseling provides Christian counselors to people struggling with their mental health. You can click our link to receive 10% off your first month of therapy. Go check them out.
All right, we're back. So I'm one of the first Christian artists, I think, to be sponsored by them. That's crazy.
Round of applause.
Thank you. Applause for both of us. That was a team effort. I told her, I said, that's who I want to support, and then she went and got it for me. So, so that's what's going on that, and then a new single coming out in September, Superficiality, which by the time this airs, probably it'll be out.
Yeah.
So go listen to that, and that one's a fun punk song where I just scream about how I'm so sick of superficiality, and it's Barbie themed. I love Barbie.
It's so cute.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, well, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for
cool. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. I appreciate you guys' support, especially from you. Like, Megan's awesome, you guys. Keep supporting her. Keep following, listening. Yeah.
Okay. It's been fun.
Been fun.
Been fun.